Hey, doesn't the saying go that laughter is the best medicine? Can you get stress relief from medicine? Have you ever experienced this? When we're looking at the effects that humour can have for us, other than just a splitting good time, then you might find it's actually crucial for our well-being. According to a study done in the Norwegian University of Science and Technology, laughter can strengthen your life. Researchers looked at over 50,000 people for 15 years, and they measured their sense of humour through a series of questions looking for what they considered to be friendly humour, as opposed to humour that creates or celebrates conflict. They found that those with a friendly sense of humour live an average of 8 years longer than their stern counterparts. So, if you believe that study, and you want to live longer, then you're going to need to find some really good things to laugh about. I'm Kate Mason, and welcome to Parenting and Personalities. This is the podcast that connects you to the ones you care about the most. Now, while it's well known that both laughter and humour have deep and long-lasting psychological effects, it's only recently that our knowledge of the psychological effects of laughter has grown. Did you know that current research has indicated that the physical act of laughing, even without humour, is linked to chemical changes in the body that can potentially reduce stress and increase pain tolerance? So go ahead, give it a try. Turn the corners of your mouth up into a smile and then give a laugh, even if it feels a little bit forced. Once you've had your chuckle, take a stock of how you're feeling. Are your muscles a little less tense? Do you feel more relaxed and buoyant? Give it another go and practice until it feels real, because that's the natural wonder of laughing at work. Therefore, laughter is good medicine. Why? Now let's kick off with stress relief. Have you ever noticed that a good laugh can feel like a weight lifted off your shoulders? Now that's because laughter releases those magical endorphins and gives us a natural high and helps us kick stresses to the curb. Well, we hope. But wait, there's more. Laughing isn't just good for the soul, it's a workout for your body too. When you're doubled over in laughter, you're giving your heart a little cardio boost and you're engaging the muscles in your face, abs, and diaphragm. But don't pack away your weights just yet. Now, in the emotional rollercoaster of life, humour and laughter are like our trusty sidekicks. They help us navigate the ups and downs with a smile on our face. They give us a breather for the tough stuff, and they offer a fresh perspective and strengthen our bonds with others. After all, sharing a laugh is basically friendship glue. But wait, there's some brainy benefits too. Engaging in humour isn't just a physical workout, it's a mental workout too. It can fire up our creative juices, boost problem-solving skills, and encourages us to see the world at new angles. Who knew a joke could be so thought-provoking? And guess what? Laughing isn't just good for the mind and the body, it's a protector for our immune system as well. So many great reasons to laugh. Who needs vitamins? The way we view humour is very varied. Our humour is intrinsic to who we are. Do you find yourself laughing at everything? Or are you more of a tough nut to crack when it comes to cracking up? Let's talk about what tickles your funny bone and look at a few different styles of humour that might appeal to you. So let's begin with slapstick humour. You know, the kind where people are tripping up over themselves and falling down and doing ridiculous stunts and generally being over the top silly. Well, my husband Paul totally loves that stuff. He's all about the Three Stooges, if you can remember them, and their wild antics, and later series such as the Home Alone series, which is a goldmine for slapstick humour. Now, I've got to admit, we watch Home Alone movies every Christmas, even though my kids are 28 and 31. Remember when Kevin sets up those booby traps for the burglars? Or when Marv steps on that nail? Or Harry gets hit on the head with the iron? Nah, not my cup of tea. I just don't see the humour in watching someone take a tumble, get hit on the head, or do something absolutely absurd. In the meantime, Paul's rolling around the floor with laughter, and I'm just sitting there, not seeing the humour in the joke at all. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. And then there's satire. Now, satire basically pokes fun at things using irony, sarcasm, and ridicule. whether it's aimed at individuals or society itself. And I have to confess, I lean a bit more to satire myself. That and sarcasm are very closely related, and someone who appreciates a good sarcastic remark, I have to say it's probably my favourite type of humour. But I'm careful with my sarcasm, because while I enjoy giving it and receiving sarcastic comments, I realise that sarcasm can really sting for some people. Sarcasm's all about saying the opposite of what you mean, usually in a mocking or contemptuous way. Like when you say, "Oh, great, another meeting, just what I wanted." Then finally, let's talk about observational humour. Observational humour is all about finding funny stuff in everyday life. Think about comedians like Jerry Seinfeld or Michael McIntyre. They're the masters at taking the mundane things that we all experience and turning them into comedy gold. They make fun about things like household chores, parenting, or those awkward moments that we've all been through. What's so great about it is how it shines a light on all those little quirks in life that we all share. And we all go, "Oh, hey, does that happen to you too?" I thought I was the only one. So it's a universal humour that really brings us together with laughter. Do any of these styles of humour appeal to you? Or do other things make you laugh? We're all so different. Today we're going to explore the world of humour and how our personalities might affect our humour. We know that everyone has their own unique sense of humour, and that a lot of people seem to have a lot, and others seem to have not so much. Some people are pretty hard to get a laugh out of, or maybe you're just not that funny. However, there are certain preferences that have similarities to the way they express their humour, how they structure their humour, and judge other people's humour. So let's have a bit of a laugh with our personality types and how they might view humour and what makes them laugh. Some of the things I want you to think of as I go through the MBTI preferences. What makes you laugh? What do you think is funny? And how do you express your humour? Do you have values around different things that others find funny and you don't? How sensitive are you? Are you aware that you may have annoyed or injured or emotionally damaged some people with your jokes? And if you have a partner, older children or groups of friends, do you all have the same sense of humour, or is it very different? And is it important within your family and social group to have the same kind of sense of humour? This last one is really important for me, because putting Paul's love of slapstick humour aside, my husband and both of my children have the same sense of humour as myself, which is great, works for me. We laugh a lot. We love to travel together and just hang out, because our time together is often full of humour and jokes, often very sarcastic, but so funny. I also hang out with a bunch of pretty sarcastic, loud, funny people in my larger group of friends, and we make a lot of jokes, which I think certain other people might not be able to handle. But I'm very cautious and mindful of my audience. I also have some other beautiful groups of friends with whom I share many laughs and great times, but without using the sharper side of my sense of humour. It's important to remember before we start today's topic that all that we're talking about are general tendencies on humour based on personality preferences. Everyone's unique, and what one person finds funny, another might not. But understanding these differences will certainly add another layer of appreciation to our interactions and our conversations and our jokes. We all know that humour is incredibly subjective, but could our personality preferences actually influence what makes us laugh? Let's find out. Let's begin with extroverts. Now, if you're an extrovert, you're energised by social interactions and external stimuli. For you, humour tends to be more outward-focused and energetic. You thrive on the energy of others, so you really enjoy humour that's found in social situations and group dynamics. You're often the life of the party, cracking jokes, not necessarily funny ones, and keeping the conversation flowing. On the other hand, if you're an introvert, you might tend to be more introspective and reflective. Introverts often have rich inner worlds. You might find humour in the subtleties of everyday life, clever wordplay, or dry wit. Instead of seeking out the spotlight, you might appreciate humour that's more understated and cerebral. Now, let's not forget that you, as an introvert, have also got an amazing knack for observational humour. You often find comedy in the quirks of human behaviour or the absurdities of everyday situations. It's all about listening and observing and finding the humour in those details. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Which description describes you best? Next up, let's talk about sensing types. If you're a sensing type, you're all about living in the moment, paying close attention to concrete details and relying on your 5 senses to interpret the world around you. When it comes to humour, sensing types often appreciate jokes that are grounded in reality. Practical jokes or humour that appeals to your keen observation skills. You might enjoy humour that's straightforward, relatable, and doesn't require a lot of abstract thinking to appreciate it. And then we have the intuitive types. If this is you, then you're more focused on the big picture, exploring patterns and connections and possibilities beyond what meets the eye. When it comes to humour, intuitive types often enjoy wit, wordplay, and jokes that require a bit of mental gymnastics to fully grasp. You might appreciate humour that challenges your intellect, stimulates your imagination, and offers insights into the deeper complexities of life. While sensing types may tend to prefer more grounded, observational humour, and intuitive types might lean to more cerebral and abstract, individual preferences can vary widely within each personality type. What do these descriptions feel like for you? If you prefer to use a thinking preference, then you may tend to make decisions based on a logic or objective criteria. You often appreciate humour based on wit, cleverness, and irony. You might enjoy jokes that take a bit of mental gymnastics to fully appreciate. Think of puns, wordplay, dry sarcastic humour. For you, the punchline isn't just about the laughter, it's about the satisfaction of unravelling a puzzle or seeing the absurdity of a situation. Now, on the other hand, if you prefer feeling, then you're more likely to consider emotion and values when making humorous choices. You tend to gravitate towards humour that's more warm and empathetic and inclusive. You might be drawn to jokes that highlight human connections, emotions, and the quirks of everyday life. Heartwarming stories with witty banter between characters, or humour that celebrates diversity and personal experiences. Remember, these preferences aren't set in stone. Last of all, let's talk about our judging friends. Now, you know them, or you are them. The planners, the organisers, the ones that have colour-coded to-do lists for their colour-coded to-do lists. If this is you, you thrive on structure and order, so it's no surprise that your humour often reflects this. Judging types appreciate jokes that have a clear setup, punchline, and resolutions. If you're a J, you usually enjoy witty one-liners, clever wordplay, and jokes that tie neatly together like a perfectly wrapped parcel. For example, you might find humour in a well-crafted pun or a clever play on words. Imagine you're at a party and your judging friend says, "I told my wife she was drawing her eyebrows too high, and she looked surprised." Classic. It's simple, it's structured, and it delivers a quick punchline that ties everything up neatly, just the way the judging type would like it. Now let's shift gears and turn to our perceiving friends. Now, if this is you, you're one of those free spirits, a spontaneous adventurer, someone who sees life as a buffet of endless humorous possibilities. You thrive on flexibility and adaptability, and your humour tends to reflect this. Perceiving types enjoy jokes that take unexpected turns and twists and keep people on their toes and spark with their curiosity. You might appreciate slapstick comedy, surreal humour, or improvisational comedy where anything goes. It's all about keeping things loose, spontaneous, and open to interpretation. But let's not forget that humour is as diverse as the people who enjoy it. Just because you might be a judging or a perceiving type doesn't mean you're limited to one type of humour. Now we've broken down the 8 preferences, let's take a look at a couple of full profiles and see how the combination of letters work to sum them up. Let's look at the ISTJ. I have so many ISTJs in my life. I love their senses of humour. They're typically dry and understated. They appreciate witty, clever wordplay and observations that are embedded in reality. Their humour often leads to the practical and factual, and they might enjoy jokes that highlight absurdities of everyday situations, or they point out inconsistencies. ISTJs might not be the life of the party when it comes to cracking jokes, but when they do, it is very funny, sharp, and insightful. They appreciate humour that is intelligent, logical, and doesn't rely on exaggeration or embellishment. My son Jack is an ISTJ, and he constantly cracks me up. He will sit and listen to conversations, whether it's in the car, the house, or out to dinner. And in the midst of that conversation, he will throw in a one-liner that is so funny. He has everyone in fits of laughter. Do you have anyone like this in your house, or a friend of yours, or is this you? He hits the nail on the head every time through his observational humour, where he picks the quirks of the conversation and just puts it into a single sentence. My future son-in-law Sam is also an ISTJ, and when these two get together, it's kind of like a comedy show in real life. Seriously, we all crack up when they start bouncing those witty one-liners off each other. Their interaction with each other is pure entertainment. So if you have a quietly spoken ISTJ comedian in your house or friendship group, embrace them, for even though they appear quiet, their humour is gold. Now let's look at a nearly opposite type, the ESFP. That's me, so I know this stuff pretty well. ESFPs are known for their energetic, spontaneous nature, which often translates into a lively, playful sense of humour. We enjoy making people laugh and can be quite entertaining with our storytelling and witty remarks. Well, we think so, although I'm sure some of our audience are not as engaged as we'd like to think, but we just ignore them. Our humour tends to be light-hearted, optimistic, and sometimes a little bit irreverent. We try not to be political because we don't want that vibe. We don't want to be serious and not fun. ESFPs often use humour to connect with others and create a fun and relaxed atmosphere. We're quick to find humour in everyday situations and quite adept at improvising jokes on the spot. I love to use my sense of humour in my workshop situations because I find that ability to go with the flow with it helps me create a happy and relaxed climate. If we haven't entertained the troops and had good laughs, then our job is not done. Overall, the ESFP's sense of humour is typically upbeat, engaging, and focused on enjoying the moment. Let's talk about the ultimate power of laughter. It's bringing people together. Humour is like the secret source of social connections, breaking down barriers and fostering a sense of camaraderie. Whether you're an extrovert who loves a good laugh with friends, or an introvert that enjoys a quiet chuckle to themselves, or an intuitive type who enjoys exploring the humour of the complexities of the universe, a quick-witted thinker, a compassionate feeler, whether you're a judger who loves a well-structured joke, or a perceiver who thrives on the unexpected, remember to keep laughing, keep exploring, and above all, keep being your wonderfully unique self. Who knows? Maybe by understanding the different ways people find things funny, we can all learn to laugh together a little bit more. Keep laughing and exploring the wonderful world of your personality. Thank you for listening to Parenting and Personalities. If you enjoyed this episode, would love it if you could leave a rating and a review that would help others learn about this podcast. If you're interested in discovering more about you and your family's personality types, you'll find my book, Who Is This Monster or Treasure in My House, on Booktopia or Amazon. If you have an episode idea, please send a note to thepersonalitycoach@gmail.com. Many thanks to our producers at Stories and Strategies, and we'll see you next time.